Hello everyone, this is Arcadia Vice, and I'm here today to bring you a game I find very fun indeed. A game called Uplink. Now, it goes by the name Uplink Hacker Elite in America, or Uplink Trust is a Weakness elsewhere in the world. It's a game by Introversion Software, a rather small company, but they produce some rather fun games. They were also involved in Darwinia and Multiwinia, which are also pretty fun games. First we have to register as an agent. I'm also playing the version from Green Man Gaming, which means I don't have to worry about the code table stuff, so that's certainly easy. Now then, our username. Let's see, what shall we be? I already have an account, well, not an account, but a username with this one already. So let's choose one that anyone who knows me knows I use quite often. And password, well, just it doesn't really need to be much, just something I know. It's only really for game purpose anyway, so pop that in. And again, this just a bit of flavor text, but seeing as I live in the UK, why not that? Right, we connected to our gateway. Now in this series, this playthrough, I do hope to be rather informative, giving like various tips and hints that can help you get ahead in the game if you ever decide to play it yourself. So we start off, we get a little welcome message here welcoming us to Uplink. Basically Uplink Corporation is basically they hire on various computer experts in the universe and use them for, they claim for security purposes and all that, but really it's so you can be hired as a hacker by other people. And you have this test mission. Would you like to run the tutorial? No, I already know how to play this game and I'll explain the mechanics as we go along. So first, let's just remove some of these. First protocol is always into NIC. You always want to go here first. Go to the browse and search and just start grabbing a bunch of links. You'll see why soon enough. I'm gonna grab a whole bunch of these. Right, that should do for now. And now you got this massive set of links here. And we want to put these back on for now as well, actually. Now, first, in fact, cancel that. Let's click that again, so the Inter-NIC will show up as orange. Now we have to find it on the map here. Easier said than done. There's our targets for the test mission. There we are. You always want to go here first, as the first step of your bounce. Again, I'll explain why soon enough, when the time comes basically. So now, we start creating a massive set of bounces. All over the world, just like you've seen in pretty much any Hollywood hacking flick. This will make it much harder for us to be traced. What is tracing, you might ask? Well, again, I'll explain it when it comes up, which it will pretty soon. First though, let's get as much out of this as we can. Oops, bit of a mess up there, but as you see it automatically reroutes it anyway, so it's not too bad. Save, and cancel it. Now get rid of all these extra links we got. Now that the queue's saved, they're not needed anymore. Oops, I got rid of the Uplink test machine one there. Might need to get that back. Hopefully it'll be here. Yep, there we are. Links again. Oh, and get rid of you. Right. now we're ready for our test mission. Now normally you'd go to internal services system by a password breaker, but the Uplink test machine is one of a few special machines that always has the same password every game. So once you know that password, you can just use it straight off. So we go to our map, we load our bounce queue, we connect to the Uplink test machine, and here's all our connections. Now, start the test. So admin for the username, oops, that's going to moved, and the password is Rosebud. Yes, that's a Citizen Kane reference that everyone loves to throw around. Now the instant I hit proceed, they'll start trying to trace me. There's two steps to a trace: the active trace, which they'll try to track you down while you're accessing the system, and the passive trace, which comes after, which I'll explain afterwards. Let's just delete that tutorial, don't need that, and get our file copier. Proceed. Access the file server, Uplink test data, wait for it to copy, copy to our memory banks, close, disconnect. Right, now we've closed off before they could trace us. Everything's fine, right? Wrong. You see, after an active trace fails, they begin a passive trace, where they'll start going through the logs of all the machines you've linked to try and trace it back to you. This is why you want to go to enter NIC as your first step in a bounce. We can't access it yet because I don't have a password breaker, but if we reply, the passive trace usually takes a while. There is an exception which I'll explain, but saying that means we're now formally an Uplink agent. We have a rank. Go to the internal services system, software, password breaker, purchase that, and now mission list. Now the first types of mission you can get are destroy data and steal data. Steal data is like we just did: find a certain file in the company's file server, copy it to your memory banks, email it to the ones who want it. Destroy data is a bit easier because it's just find the file, delete it, done. I like to do destruction missions rather than stealing ones because they're that little bit easier. We can't automatically accept yet, so we contact them, and let's see if we can get some money out of them. Yep, got half the money there. Little delete, can we get half the money? Yep. You'll see why I'm trying to get half the money from them. But if they disagree, you just, no thanks, try again, no thanks, try again, and eventually, because it checks each time, they will actually agree to it. You can do this with all the money as well, but I want to show a few missions off as well. Whoops, I accepted it without getting the money. Oh well. Let's try this one again. No. This can be a bit tedious sometimes. This is the only time you'll need to really negotiate, as I'll show you a trick to get money a lot easier once we have enough to start off with. It's just getting the starting money where it's a bit of a hassle. Oh, what the hell, I'll accept it anyway. We should have enough for the other thing I want, hopefully. Nope, not quite enough yet. Just need a little more. Let's see if we can get all the money. Nope. The more you do missions and the higher your rank gets, the more likely they are to agree to this sort of stuff. They'll to give you money in advance, or even up the money. Okay. 4,400, is that enough? Let's have a look. Wrong area. Also click that, but obviously not. Yes! Log deleter version 4, this is what I was after. Now with the password breaker and the log deleter, going to enter NIC, admin, bring up our password breaker. NIC has no security on the server, so they never realise you're hacking into the admin section. And they never changed the password either, so once you've got a password, it's fine. So now we go into the logs, and because of that security it's easy to get in here. Get our log deleter, delete the one that says we got authentication, and delete the bounce log. Now, when doing the passive trace, they'll come to here, but oh, nowhere left to go. And the passive trace won't find you. Now, we've got a bunch of missions here. Now see how we have 5 areas but more than 5 missions. That means some of these missions are going to the same place. So we have First Wave, Moon Inc, Voxel, see 2 Voxel ones, another Moon, and Free Service. So let's go to First Wave. They want this file deleted. So, bring it up, First Wave, go there, load our bounce, connect, password breaker, get our file deleter ready as well, but put our CPU into the password breaker because that's more important to begin with. Proceed, file server, and our file we want is 80632. There it is. Disconnect, send the reply. Mission complete. We get the rest of the money from that contract. And that's because we sent it basically just on the sort of gap between they wouldn't recognise it and they do. So we get both the you've not done it yet and you've done it mission replies at the same time. A little quirk in how this game works if you're a bit too quick for it. Now into NIC, back into the admin, logs, delete the authentication log, and the bounce log. The reason you want the version 4 log deleter as soon as you can is it leaves no traces, so they cannot recover any logs you delete. Earlier ones will basically first leave an obvious sort of file deleted, which can be undone. Then they'll try to cover it up with junk data, and so on. And the 4th one is the only one that completely gets rid of the log. So you never have to worry about it. Now next up we have Moon, which we have 2 files to delete. So I'll show you a little trick that's good for deleting multiple files at once. That doesn't rely on your file deleter, which is good early on when your computer's rather slow. So, load up the thing, Moon Inc, connect, crackers, password breaker, now early on you just got to be quick because you don't know how the trace is going if you've not got a trace tracker yet. I will get one eventually, just because I like to have it. We got admin, security, no security, so we should have a long time for this one. Go into console, cd usr, then delete, and that will now delete all the files on the file server, including the ones we're after. Then type disconnect afterwards, so when it finishes it'll automatically log us off. Console commands can be very handy and pretty much vital in certain missions if you don't have a certain item that will come up later in the playthrough. And where's the other Moon one? There you are, reply, send. So we got some money. Our ranking has now gone up to novice, so we can get some more missions. That's just one of those ones because we were a bit too quick. The money from that other mission. Back to Intent IC. Now as you can see, it's a bit repetitive early on, but as the missions get more varied, things start changing up and getting more interesting. And I don't know, I find it rather enjoyable. It's got a strange sort of tension to it, a strange atmosphere that draws you in. Probably not helped really by my voice droning over everything, but, well, the music does tend to just loop between certain tracks, and that could get a bit grating. Plus, it'd be a bit hard to understand what I'm actually doing at certain points if I wasn't here to explain it. So I feel there is some commentary needed for this game in particular. So here we go. Admin, check the security. They only have a monitor, so they'll be a bit quicker on us with the trace, but nothing to stop us deleting the files. And because we have multiple ones to delete here, rather than find the individual files, just get rid of the whole lot. Send the replies. Get some more money. Back to enter an IC. Admin. Delete these. And our final target. We're after 49097 for this one. 49097. There's the password. Win. 49097 deleted. Good. Disconnect. Done. And a bit more money. Delete the crucial logs. Disconnect now. I think that's good enough for this first video. Next time we'll start about how to really set yourself up to completely break the game wide open until you reach the special missions. This has been Arcadia Vice. I hope you've enjoyed this first part to this game. I hope to bring you more soon.